Sup geeks and welcome back! Today this girl Draculara is getting a makeover, cause I'll be making a holiday doll. I barely make season related dolls, but I think it could be fun just for once. I chose a Monster High doll as base because they have the perfect body type for fairies. Like, if there would be fairies in real life, I think they would look just like this. I've been planning this doll for so long, but for some reason I always end up cancelling the project, and here's the proof. These doodles are really old. Just looking at them, you can tell. Oh my gosh, this is so embarrassing, but that's it. I'm going to give her a proper concept art. This is her updated design. My biggest inspiration for this was none other than the Cirque du Soleil. I didn't want her to look dressed in peppermint, but more like her own body is made of candy. So I'm going to be talking about that later on. So now that we have a concept, let's start working on the doll. Let's go really fast through the very basics of every doll customization process. Of course, getting rid of the factory hair, all the chunky glue inside the head, and I will use 100% pure acetone to erase the factory paint. I don't know, I feel sad erasing Draculara's face cause she's so cute, but hey, we're here to customize and we need a clean canvas. I was really surprised, and not in a good way, that her factory paint permanently stained the vinyl on the mouth area. I was planning to use the original light pink color, but well, maybe I should go full candy fantasy with her. I sanded off the molded on underwear, and I swear I wasn't going to modify this doll, but I wanted her feet to be on point like my concept art, so here I am, cutting a doll in pieces again. I tried to cut using my X-Acto knife, but there was no way in hell I could do it. So I had to use my Dremel, and I must say, for some reason, even with the Dremel, I struggled a little bit. I'm sanding off all the ugly edges. And I'm using hot glue as a bond to replace the point of the feet again. But this time very ballerina style. Hot glue is strong enough to hold them in place for the moment. I keep comparing them because we don't want one feet bigger than the other one, but they look cool. And now it's time to seal them with, ta-da! Epoxy sculpt! Honestly, I don't know what the doll customizing community would do without this magical clay. Like, at least I always feel the need to use it. I'm brushing the wet surface of the epoxy to avoid sanding afterwards. Once the epoxy is fully cured, they are ready. Oh my gosh, they look so beautiful. It looks like she's actually flying. So now, let's give her elvish ears. It's been a while since I made elvish ears for a doll. I think only for my Legend of Zelda dolls, Link, Zelda, Revio and Hilda. But I really like it. I just love dolls with elf ears in general. Always remember to brush the wet epoxy so you don't have to sand, which I hate. So here she is. I'm really glad these mods were not so hardcore. I'm going to be marking with a color pencil the areas where I will be sculpting with epoxy. Just as a guide, you know. I was not sure in the beginning if I should make all these details 3D sculpted or just painted on. Of course, painted on would have been a lot easier, but also it would have looked so much plain. While doll customizing, one need to realize that sometimes the easiest way is not necessarily the more appealing one. So don't be afraid to bring all these kind of details to life into your own dolls. This neck piece is looking so gorgeous. I really like where this is going. Sculpting and playing with the epoxy clay maybe look like a really hard stuff to do in the beginning, even intimidating, but it is not, at all. I felt the same way when I first touched the epoxy clay. I was like, what the heck is this sticky stuff? No! But not all clays behave the same. You need first to get used to the material, and learn how it behaves, and that can only be achieved through practice. With time your skills will start getting better and better. I mean, looking back to my first epoxy works, I realize I really come a long way, and I don't even consider myself a great sculptor. I have in mind so many new projects for the channel for the next year, But I'm at this point where I have to sit down and brainstorm all the ideas, cause right now all of them are kinda diffused inside my head. But one thing I have really clear is that I would love to set up an Etsy store to sell part of my stuff and dolls there. I hope I can accomplish that. I will keep everyone updated when it's done. But getting back to this doll, I need to remind everyone watching that all these 3D details were not made in just one day. It may look like this thanks to the TV magic, but the truth is, every time I finish an area, I need to wait for the epoxy to be fully cured, because if I keep handling the doll, I can easily destroy the parts that are still soft. Epoxy may take up to 5 hours to cure, so do your own math. For the headpiece, I'm using some aluminum foil as base to save some epoxy and to avoid her head of being too heavy. When I started the doll, I was torn between sculpting the headpiece or use yarn hand to make a hairdo, but I chose the sculpting method in the end just because I wanted to keep all this candy effect. And now all the sculpted details are already cured. I'm in love with her so far, she's looking so cute. I'm glad I chose the 3D way. Now it's time to bring the colors. Every time I have to shine a doll's skin tone, I remind myself I really need to try an airbrush. It's true that through this technique of thin coats and watercolor brushes one can achieve the same result, but not gonna lie, it's kinda time consuming. Also, it's good to try new tools. I need to add an airbrush to my next year's list. But for now, I just have to keep adding thin layers and layers, always waiting for the previous one to dry. And here is the result. As you can see, there is no visible brush strokes. It just looks like an airbrush paint. Starting to add the red color is really exciting, because I can see all the peppermint candy fantasy coming to life. I personally think the peppermint candy is so beautiful, so visually appealing. All those bright and red strips swirling over the white surface, it's so mesmerizing. And also so iconic. I mean, as soon as you see the red and white swirls, you'll think about this time of the year. I'm going to be honest, I'm not a huge candy lover in general. I just think they are beautiful to look at. So, are you a candy lover? Do you think I should make others candy themed fairies? You know, drop your comment down below. I swear I always read all of them. I'm going to add some blush into her body. I chose this light pink color to harmonically break a little bit the red-white combination, and I must say, this was that kind of moment when you realize some little details can add so much life into a custom doll. Like, this blushing was really a game changer. I still need to get more confident when it comes to body blushing, but I swear it's worth it. I sprayed the body with one layer of Mr. Super Clear, and now it's time for some gloss, because I mean, candy is glossy. I want to try the difference between both the Liquitex High Gloss and the matte one, so I will use the high gloss on one leg and the matte one on the other leg. Wait for them to dry so I can compare them. Of course, this layer of varnish will protect the doll from possible scratches. Well, most of the time. And once they dry, oh my gosh, they basically look the same. I can hardly tell the difference. It really amazes me how the high gloss is not that glossy and the matte one is not that matte. But well, I think I will go for a layer of the matte one cause it gives me a little bit more of that semi-glossy candy vibe. And now it's time for the face-up. I'm going to wrap her to protect her body and make a huge candy burrito. First, I'm gonna sketch the eyes. I always prefer them side glancing for some reason. I don't know why they make a doll to look way more alive. And then I'm going to start extending the blushing on her face. This is a fantasy creature, so there's no need to be afraid. I didn't even plan this face up that much. I just went with the flow. It's good to add as much blushing as one can in just one layer. That way we avoid overlayering too much. The light and hot pink is really cute combination over the white surface. Don't ask me why, but suddenly I decided that I wanted to make this an acrylic and brushes face up. I don't know why, but there is something about the acrylic face ups that looks so artistic, of course, when it's well done. But I think the whole candy vibe of this doll is perfect to practice this technique a little bit, and honestly, I really want to improve it. I think sometimes we rely too much on Mr. Super Clear on the pencil, so this is a good alternative. It's worth giving a try. Now it's time to talk about my biggest inspiration for this doll. I really love Cirque du Soleil. Like, it's really one of my favorite things on earth. Just in case someone doesn't know, Cirque du Soleil is an animal-free circus, but in my opinion, they surpass the definition of what a circus is. Cirque du Soleil is something else. Their shows are a journey, a story. Each show is a tale full of magical creatures. Their music is originally composed for each show and is performed live by amazing singers. And oh my gosh, the makeup and the costume designs are just beyond words. They really take you on a journey out of this world. I wanted this doll to look like she could be part of that Cirque du Soleil magical universe. My favorite show from them is Alegria, which is kind of one of their signature shows. There are so many characters that I love so much from Alegria, like the singer in white, the singer in black, the nymphs, Le Fleur, and the angels. Have you ever go to Cirque du Soleil performance? Did you like it? What is your favorite show from them? You know, let me know in the comments. At this point, the face up is pretty much set, and I must say I'm really happy with it. I've been lately trying to push myself out of my comfort zone, and I mean, comfy zone is okay, but an artist can't stay there forever. There is so many new stuff that I want to try, and I mean doll customizing stuff. I've been following so many artists from the action figure customizers community and the anime sculptors community that I really would love to fuse some of their techniques into our doll customizing world, because why not? Let's add the catch light to bring a spark of life into the eyes. And yeah, the face up is now complete. I must say, I almost forgot to paint the headpiece. I was like, what am I missing? But well, this is looking really cute. Once fully painted, I'm going to add some gloss, just like in the rest of her body. And it's time to move on to the wings. I marked their shape on a paper as a pattern. I also made this piece out of a little bit of epoxy and soft wire. And I'll be using super light air dry clay to make the wings, cause I want them really lightweighted and flexible, but I want them still to look like candy. I also want these wings to be posable and removable, just in case I want to change them in the future. Also, this way is easier for storage and shipping as well. I will trace the shape of the wing onto the clay, and don't worry, this type of clay is not messy, it won't even damage the paper pattern. When it's done, I repeat the process until I get the 4 wings. Once they are cured, I can glue them into the soft wire structure. I'm using Gorilla Glue, which is really strong and dries fast. Once the glue is dry, I will conceal the wire. I'm using a little bit more of the same clay. I was going to make the red details using clay, but I decided it was enough of 3D stuff. Since these are the wings, they will look so much better just painted on. Once they're painted on both sides, I'm going to blush them a little bit. You know, just to match the rest of her body and face up. Once the blush is sealed with MSC, of course, I'm going to add a little bit of candy gloss, you know, for the full effect. I'm gonna glue a piece of Velcro doll for them to be removable. And it's time to burrito her. Let's add the other side of the Velcro on her back. And we're done! So I'm really thankful if you're one of the few that made it to here. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to comment and share if you like it. Also, if you haven't subscribed yet and love this content, please do. Oh, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram. We also have fun there. Well, that's all for today. Until the next time, bye!